I'm Katie Kimble, and I'm here with Mark Adderley, the author of The Hawk and the Wolf, which debuted in October 2008. Mark, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Katie.
So, The Hawk and the Wolf is kind of a different twist on the medieval characters and a different twist on medieval stories that you might find. What makes your story unique?
What makes my story unique is that these are characters that everybody's very familiar with, people like Merlin the Enchanter and King Arthur, but they're put into a story that I think nobody's read before. It's a unique story. It's not in the same environment as you normally see King Arthur and Merlin. It's slightly different. It's in a different environment, and I used a lot of very obscure, difficult poems from Celtic lands like Wales and Ireland to construct the story, and I don't think many authors go to those sources. So this is a unique story. It's got an element of familiarity to it because of the characters, but it's got a very distinct and different take on those characters.
So what might we find your characters doing that might be a little more out of their character, per se?
Well, fighting with different enemies, for one thing. King Arthur is always fighting against the English. He's always fighting against the Saxons, and my Merlin is really the enemy of the Romans. So there are people like that in the book. He's also associating with the warrior queen Boadicea, who was a real person. She really lived in the 1st century AD, and she led a rebellion against Rome when the Romans first invaded Britain. Oh, she's kind of Merlin's girlfriend in this book, and I don't think the two characters have ever met before. So that's a very unique thing about the book as well.
So, Professor Adderley, I hear there are already some sequels in the works. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Give us a little heads up on what we might see.
I'm not going to give any spoilers. Yeah, I've got a couple of books. I've got 2 more books that are already written and ready to go. One is called The Hawk and the Cup, and it picks up pretty much where this book leaves off. But the central event of that one is about the Holy Grail. And then I've got another one which is set more in a traditional Arthurian period, slightly before the reign of King Arthur. And I'm very excited about that one because the central character is a very dynamic and engaging person. It's the first time I've ever written a female hero, and that one's called The Hawk and the Huntress, and I have no idea when those will be released. And I'm working on book number 4 even now.
Oh wow, so we've got quite a bit to look forward to. Yeah.
I'm hoping for 12 books altogether. It should be a 12-book sequence.
So I know here on the Missouri Valley campus, you've been a great inspiration to many students. Who inspired you to do such great things as far as writing books and got you going?
That would be my grade school teachers mainly, Mr. Brown, who was the creative writing guru from my 6th grade year, and he was very encouraging. Mr. Beach, who was another one of my grade school teachers a few years later. As far as literary heroes, Shakespeare. Shakespeare's the big one. Sir Thomas Malory, who's Lamort Arthur, is the standard version of the Arthurian legend. And then some modern writers like Bernard Cornwell, who writes historical novels like the Sharp series.
So I know the book has been a huge hit here on our campus. Where can some other people take a look at your book? Where can it be found?
It can be found, you can purchase it at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. You can usually get it from your local library. They may have to special order it, but libraries are beginning to stock it now. Other than that, it's probably a special order at this point. Debut novels are difficult to get a hold of. So those are the 2 big venues right now.
Well, there you have it. That was Professor Adderley on his book, The Hawk and the Wolf.